Hi, and welcome back to Fog of Work. If you are here, it probably means something feels off. You followed the rules, you worked hard, you did everything society told you to do, but the happiness never came, the peace never arrived. And now you are left wondering, is this really all there is? What if the problem isn't you? What if it never was? What if the life you were promised was a carefully constructed illusion, a system designed not to set you free, but to keep you trapped? Today, we are going to unpack that illusion and expose the truth behind the modern world of work. A world that thrives on burnout, disconnection, and endless striving. Let's take a deeper look at why we feel this way and what we can do about it. They told us we live in the best time in human history, that with all the technology, comfort, and opportunity, we should be more fulfilled than ever. But deep down, that's not true. Because despite everything we have, what we feel is emptiness. We were sold a dream that success equals security, that progress means happiness, that productivity is the highest virtue. But that dream was never for us. It was designed to keep us busy, producing, consuming, complying. It's not just a lie, it's a trap. We weren't offered a better life. We were handed a more efficient prison. And because the bars were made of screens and salaries, we didn't notice until the fatigue set in. Until the anxiety became constant, until our lives felt like a series of tasks rather than something to be lived. Work became the purpose. From school to career, we've been trained to find meaning in our usefulness. Not in who we are, but in how much we can produce for someone else. We were told that rest is laziness, that stillness is weakness, that if you stop, even for a moment, you are falling behind. And so, we run. We optimize, we multitask, we grind. But for what? For a job that drains us? For goals that never feel like enough? For a future that always seems just one more promotion away? Modern life teaches us that our worth is tied to our output, that your existence only matters if it feeds the system. And in that endless cycle, we forget how to live. You weren't born to meet deadlines. You weren't made to be efficient. You were meant to experience joy, connection, and meaning. But instead, your life is itemized, scheduled, and constantly optimized for someone else's gain. I once knew someone who spent over 20 years with the same company. He was always the first one in the office and the last to leave. He worked weekends, answered emails late at night, and never took more than a couple of days off. He had no family, no hobbies, no life outside of work. He believed that his dedication made him indispensable, believed that his value to the company was too great to ignore. Eventually, he became a partner. But when the company restructured, the other partners voted him out. Just like that. After 2 decades of sacrifice, he was discarded without hesitation. No loyalty, no appreciation, just a quiet exit. That's when I realized loyalty to the system is never returned, only expected. Technology promised to bring us closer, but instead, we scroll through endless feeds, comparing ourselves to created illusions. We are more connected than ever, yet we've never felt more alone. Conversations are interrupted by notifications. Relationships are reduced to status updates. And somewhere along the way, we stopped looking people in the eyes, stopped listening, stopped feeling. Connection has been replaced with convenience. We call it social media, but it rarely makes us feel social and almost never connected. We've confused availability for closeness and replaced intimacy with algorithms. This system thrives on discontent. It tells you that happiness is one more product away, one more certification, one more raise. But the moment you get it, the goalpost moves again. This isn't a flaw, it's by design. Perpetual dissatisfaction is the fuel that keeps the machine running. You are not supposed to feel satisfied. Because a content worker doesn't buy, doesn't hustle, doesn't obey. You're kept hungry, not just for food or comfort, but for validation. You're conditioned to believe that your next purchase, next title, next upgrade will finally make you whole. It never did. We've made incredible advances, but we've drifted further from ourselves. Modern life has stripped away reflection, community, and purpose. It replaced wisdom with noise, presence with pressure, being with doing. And the scariest part? Most people have gotten used to it. We've normalized the exhaustion, we've accepted the emptiness, We've learned to smile while burning out quietly inside. But if you've paused long enough to feel the void, that means something inside you is still alive, still questioning, still human. This is not depression, this is not weakness. This is your soul resisting extinction. This is your awareness trying to surface in a culture designed to numb it. The answer isn't more work. It's not in productivity apps, career advice, or another 5-year plan. It's in undoing the lie. It's in listening to yourself, to the stillness, to the small voice inside you that's been buried beneath the noise. The system doesn't want you to stop, because stillness is dangerous. It leads to questions, to awareness, to truth. And once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. You don't need to keep running. You don't need to keep proving yourself. You were never broken. The system is. And when you start seeing that, really seeing it, you begin to take your life back. Not all at once, not without struggle, but one moment at a time. One choice to rest, one choice to disconnect, one choice to say enough. We've been trained to fear quiet moments, because when it's quiet, we begin to hear ourselves again. And what we hear might contradict everything we've been taught to want. Stillness is dangerous to a system built on urgency. If people stopped long enough to reflect, they might stop obeying. They might start healing. They might start saying no. That's why the world fills every silence with noise, every gap with distraction. Because stillness is where rebellion begins. What if rest wasn't a reward, but a right? What if success was measured in peace, not productivity? What if we stopped asking, how much did you get done today? And started asking, how much of today felt like yours? What if the world didn't demand so much of you just to survive? What if you didn't need to constantly improve to be worthy of rest, love, or joy? The future isn't written yet, but the first sentence starts when you pause and ask what kind of life you really want. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You don't need all the answers, but you do deserve to ask the questions, to challenge the system that keeps you tired, distracted, and disconnected. If any of this resonated with you, you're not alone. You're not weak for feeling tired. You're not lost for feeling disconnected. You're waking up. And that's where change begins. Leave a comment below. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, why am I really doing all of this? Let's talk about it. Let's share our stories. Let's find clarity in the fog together. And if you want more reflections like this, check out the other videos on this channel. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Until then, stay aware, stay grounded, and take care of yourself. We're just getting started.